It is April 14th, 2014, and I lay in my youngest daughter's bed. It is the night before Passover, a balmy spring evening. In one hand, I clutch her pink-flowered blanket as if it can protect me, and in the other, a burner phone that I had purchased earlier that morning to replace my iPhone 4. I had gone shopping, telling my husband that I was taking care of last-minute Passover needs, but in fact, I was putting into action the first steps of my plan. For years, I had been feeling trapped in my marriage, like something was dying inside of me. Several months earlier, when I had finally asked for a divorce, my husband told me that if I left him, I'd never see any of our 10 children again. And then, one by one, the older children stopped talking to me, only punctuating the silence with insulting emails and threatening phone calls. I knew I had to do something. I had sacrificed enough. It was several days before Passover, and the rabbi suggested that I go away for the holiday with the younger children. It would be good for me to get a break from all the tension at home, he said. The children were delighted. This was so exciting. But their excitement did not last long. When their father heard about the plan, he called them into his study one by one and insisted that they belong at home. The next morning, I got a call from the rabbi. Your husband is okay with you going away for the holiday, but he tells me that the children don't want to go with you. I was devastated. Once again, I had been manipulated and trapped. But now, for the very first time, I refused to back down, paid attention to my own needs, and began to make plans to leave for Passover. I toss and turn in bed, and it is now 11:13 p.m., and I hear a loud thump from the study downstairs as my husband closes his heavy books. The tall, dark wooden doors creak as I hear him walk up the stairs towards our once peaceful marital bedroom. As I lay in my daughter's bed, I hear his deliberate footsteps as he walks across the shiny wooden floor towards our master bathroom. It is now 11:23 p.m. I text my friend Miriam, who will help me leave. Changing time from 4:30 to 3:15. He went to sleep earlier than usual. I want to be safe. I take the phone and place it in my bag next to my bed and close my eyes in feigned sleep. Real sleep has to wait. I have a lot to accomplish. I rehearse the plan, ticking the list off on my fingers. Wake up, carry the first 3 children downstairs to the waiting car and send them off. Come back up for the other 2 children. Hopefully they'll come. Drive to the car rental with the children, pick up my other children, and leave my car there. Drive to New Jersey, rent a room in a motel that takes cash, put the children for a nap, shower them, and keep them busy until later in the afternoon. Arrive at my brother's house at 6:53 p.m., exactly 3 minutes before Passover starts. This last step was critical. I wasn't sure if my brother approved of my actions or if I could trust him to protect me and keep my arrival a secret. My worst fear was that my husband would find out that I was there and follow up on his threat to take the children from me. However, I knew that if I timed it right, he'd be forced to remain silent. As Hasidic Jews, we would not use any electronics, even phones, once the holiday started at sundown. I knew that my brother would never make that call, as much as he might disapprove of my actions. It is now 3:15 a.m., and I text again, holding the phone under my blanket. On my way, I'm in the driveway waiting for you, Miriam responds. My heart drops and my hands begin to shake. I have thought of this moment so many times, but now that I'm actually needing to do it, I am terrified. But I pick myself up, follow the plan, and arrive at my brother's house moments before Passover. The 4 youngest with me, the older ones left behind. Passover ends, the phone doesn't stop ringing. My husband, my parents, they all insist that I go back home. I am a wife and a mother, and that is where I belong. I refuse the calls, and my brother tells me that he can't stop anyone from coming to the house. Terrified of losing my children, I head to family court the next morning and receive a short and curt text from my brother. If you go to court, you need to leave with the children. You can't stay here any longer. Homeless now, I take the children with me to family court. There I face not only my husband, but also my father, 4 of my older children, and my sister's husband, all who have publicly come to proclaim their opposition to my actions. I knew that they wouldn't approve of me leaving my marriage, but I never imagined that they would show up and publicly display their disapproval in this way. The shock of seeing them all there almost knocked me over. My legs trembled as I was barely able to stand in front of the judge as he gave me temporary custody of the children. When I fled my marital home, filed for custody and orders of protection against my husband and older sons, I was simply putting myself first. I was protecting myself and my children. I didn't realize at the time that in fact, I was starting the process of overcoming an oppressive system. By paying attention to my own needs, I was starting a revolution. I was shocked by the amount of pushback I got from the community and my family. They knew then what I know now. Paying attention to my own needs was the key to overcoming the oppressive system I was raised in. All oppressive systems, not only the community that I come from, have one thing in common. They encourage individuals to suppress and ignore their own needs. Let me be clear. The suppression of an individual's needs is not a fault in the oppressive system, but is in fact an important and critical part of its design. So long a system can convince individuals not to pay attention to their own needs, people will be accepting of the status quo and the power structure will remain. I believe that transformative progress happens when people pay attention to their own needs first. In the United States and beyond, revolutions have literally happened when people stood up for their own needs and made choices that benefited themselves. Edith Windsor was forbidden from marrying her longtime fiancé due to rules against same-sex marriage in the United States. When her fiancé died in 2009, she was forced to pay taxes well beyond what a heterosexual spouse would be required to pay. She then filed a lawsuit against the federal government. In 2013, the Supreme Court ruled in her favor, its ruling forming the beginning of legislation to allow same-sex marriage in the United States, resulting in over 500,000 marriages since then. Over 1 million people finally got what they deserved, all because one woman, Edith, paid attention to her own needs. During my studies as an interspiritual minister, the importance of self-care was greatly emphasized, especially in the book we studied, How Can I Help, by Ram Dass and Paul Gorman, which greatly emphasizes the importance of self-care for activists. Audre Lorde, the late Black lesbian, feminist, essayist, and poet, wrote in her 1988 essay collection, A Blaze of Light, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." I believe that this concept goes even deeper. Caring for ourselves is not only a way to survive an oppressive system, it is the method of overthrowing the system. These systems continuously emphasize the importance of hard work and sacrifice, and we have been trying to use those very tools to overcome these oppressive systems, not realizing that the key to overthrow these oppressive systems is paying attention to our own needs. Millions of people are in the same situation that I was in for so many years, trapped in oppressive systems, thinking that if they work harder and sacrifice more, things will finally change. They suppress their own desires, pushing their needs down deeper and deeper. Every now and then, someone will approach me, often anonymously, and tell me that I inspire them, that I give them hope. And even though they don't know if they're ready to escape, they now know that it is possible. They stop sacrificing so much. They start paying attention to their own needs. They stop working so hard. One person at a time, transformative progress is happening.